Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundoke with Reverend Yutaki Yamada. Today being Wednesday, the 12th of January, or the 10th of December in the 9th year of Chongalguk. Let's begin by offering a bow to our Heavenly Parent and true parents. Chariot Kyumbe. Haro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English. Thank you.
사전멘세 7. 전국 주인, 우리 가족은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심전 문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 7. Our family, the owner of Chongalguk, pledges through living for the sake of others to perfect the world based on the culture of heart, which is rooted in the original lineage by centering on true love. I'd like to ask Jeffrey Fires, if you could offer the opening prayer, please.
Good morning to you, most beloved Heavenly Parent and true parents. We want to invite you into our Hondoke this morning, that our hearts can be open to what you want to share with us. You are trying to raise us up to fulfill an incredible responsibility here in the Pacific, this beautiful region that you have prepared for the last days. You have sent many nations and tribes into our region, populating the beautiful islands, Father, and also to Australia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, and other places, Father. We have the most ancient tribes here in the Pacific, and also the most new tribes, Father. You've established the most profound, scenario with a father-like and a mother-like nation, with many beautiful island nations, Father. Showing us an image of how nations can work together to build a heavenly culture. So, Father, we are called to be able to represent you in the world today, express your loving heart that you have longed to express throughout the ages, Father. We're coming to mature ourselves as responsible sons and daughters who finally understand our parents' situation. Father, we are so fortunate to be among those who could meet the true parents, Father. Thousands of years, Christians have waited for the day when the Messiah would return, but we are the blessed ones who have that opportunity, representing them, to bring about the final realization of your kingdom on earth. So thank you, Father. Be with Reverend Yamada and brothers and sisters. We all contribute today to this Hondoke. I offer this prayer in the name of Jeffy and Yuki Fires, who represent the Fires Centerbest family. I pray. Aju.
Aju. Thank you, and let's offer a warm greeting as always to Reverend Yutaka as he shares this morning. Thank you.
Morning, brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining today's morning Hondoke. Today is the beautiful day. Let's have a great time together. And also I have a news. Yesterday, I successfully received a permanent residence visa in Australia. So I'm really appreciate for your support. And Johnson, I will do my best. And really, Johnson, and really success to bring the victory to our heavenly parents and true parents. So thank you for always your Johnson and also devotion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. So yesterday, we had the PCLC Advisory Committee meeting. So there are 17 Christian clergy from each nation, and also national leader attended together, and total around 40 people have discussion sessions. So it was a really meaningful time. Especially yesterday, we discussed about the PCLC statement. What is our standing point? For example, the same-sex marriage or divorce, abortion, or those things. What is our standing point? So basically, Dr. Kittle prepared some statement based on the Bible. Our goal, our purpose is centering on the three great blessings, Genesis chapter 1:28, and also Genesis 2:24. The man and woman should be the one flesh, and we will fulfill God's people, God's couple, and God's family. So PCLC's standing point is also to create the family ideal and kingdom based on those God's plan. So anyway, yesterday just a discussion period, because of course there are many kind of person who have different thinking and different opinion or different situation. That's why basic our standing point is not so much focusing the problem or challenging side. Instead of that, we try to focus more to create God's ideal and God's hope for ideal family and ideal nation. This is basically our aim. So anyway, yesterday we just discussed and we didn't decide so much yet. So maybe further we can share those contents also. So yesterday some Christian clergy shared his church or this Catholic side or Christian side situation. So they are having also many challenging or many also difficulties. That's why this kind of the PCLC platform will provide the platform to discuss and to cooperate each other beyond the denomination and centering on God's will and the Jesus will. And really we could create important role to support together for our heavenly parents and through parents. So that's really good things. So next Tuesday, we will prepare the third PCLC online fellowship. So this online fellowship will open for everyone. So please, all our blessed family, and also join together to invite also the Christian clergy. Next topic is the kingdom. So Jesus, there are many kind of word of kingdom in New Testament age. I think almost 150 times Bible is mentioning about the kingdom. That's why next Tuesday, one pastor will share about kingdom from Christian clergy side and one pastor from our side. So our Reverend Stone will share the message next Tuesday about kingdom. So please also join the third online fellowship. So this is really inspire or very interesting session we will have next Tuesday. So really please support well together. Thank you. So let's see the mother's anthology today. Global unity through true parents. Yesterday we discussed about true fathers restart the new providence after losing the old foundation of Christianity. So he went to North Korea and he went to Hunnam prison. And after that, he came out from Hunnam prison to go to Busan, and he departed the new providence. So even he lose everything, he faced those kind of the impossible situation or despair situation, but he never lose the promise. He never lose the preach with God, and continuously, instead of that, he really comfort God and encourage God and really support God and show the courage and the vision to God, and he led the old providence. So now, because of those foundation or investment of the parents, now we enter the era of Chonilkuk. So yesterday, Trimada shared those providential matters. So today, next part. True parents comforted the heart of God and emerged triumphant. So I will read this. All people were meant to have parents centered on God, but they have come to have false parents instead. Unification Church members have learned through the divine principle about God's miserable situation. He is unable to take dominion over humankind as long as they have false parents. Throughout the thousands of years of human history, there has not been one person who understood the grieved and anguished heart of God and tried to comfort him. So, living God and heart of God, and God's heart is sadness and grief, anguish. So nobody understood about God's situation and heart in the all human histories. God was not known as the parents, and also people could not recognize that God is loving the people. God is suffering. God is sadness. God is totally patient and sacrificed and prayed for all human beings. Nobody could recognize and understand. So how much pitiful and how much so sorry for our heavenly parents, sorry for God. In the course of God's providence, many prophets came forward to unfold God's will, but they all ended up failing. In light of this, God's heart must indeed be indescribable agony. He pinned his hopes on each of them in turn, but whenever they failed and stood in the position of having to pass on the mission of achieving his will to the next generation, the anguish God must have felt in his heart would have been beyond words. Not even the prophets, however, understood this painful heart of God. Many people appeared. Many people accepted God's word and promised with God, but all the time they could not fulfill. They failed. So God all the time loved them. They trust again, believe again, put his heart again, but always they could not fulfill, and they fall into Satan's hand. When God saw those situations, the person who got love to be fallen into Satan's side, how much God's pain was deep and so much painful. So Mother said, the anguish God must have felt in his heart would have been beyond words. Not even the prophets, however, understood this painful heart of God. So knowing God this is easy things, but it's not really easy things. Every time we are discussing about history, providence, and about God's nature, but the meeting God and knowing the real God, these things is actually everything of our life if we can fulfill that and live for God's will. So these things, how much challenging or tough things. That's why all the time we have to seek God and find God and comfort God and return the happiness to God. We will live those kind of life. This is really the happiness for God, comfortness God. This is really the purpose of our life. That's why Mother is sharing and mentioning about God's situation continuously. So let's inherit and then really let's stand as God's son and as God's daughters. So let's see the next part of our Chonsongyam today. Yesterday also we are discussing and talking about God, especially relationship with God. God is the subject partner of love, subject partner of life, and subject partner of ideal. And we also should be those person. And God's nature or God's attribute is absolute, unique, unchanging, and eternal. That's why, something again. Why every time? How is this?
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah.
It's okay. I'm not sure why it is happening. Almost every day, right?
Last few days, yeah.
Okay. Again. So the God's nature or attribute is absolute, unique, unchanging, and eternal. That's why our relationship between husband and wife, our relationship between parents and child, even our relationship with our friend and people, and relationship with God and ourselves, we should become this kind of attribute together. Absolute relationship, unchanging, unique, and eternal. So through yesterday's question, did you find some new view to your spouse, new view to your parents, new view to your children? In our life, we really have to effort continuously until the end of our life. Maybe even after going to the spiritual world, we continuously effort to unite with husband and wife, parents and child, and including also our tribe, nation, and world, because all people is actually God's body, and we are the really one body with our heavenly parents and true parents. So let's read the next part. God is the subject partner of our life. Because he is subject partner of our life and love, we should appreciate the force of life and the force of love within him. However, due to the fall, we did not live in a world where God's force of life and God's force of love are valued. Hence, we ought to again seek such a world and recover it. The world we are living in now is not the world God desires, not is it the one we desire. So we are not experienced yet the original ideal world. That's why true parents came on this earth, and true parents is showing us the way of true life, true love, and also true life. So subject of life and subject of love. So I guess you have many experience with true parents through workshop time, fundoke time. Also you did the fishing together with our true parents before, right? When you spend the time with true parents, how was your feeling? Stay in the same occasion, joining the conference, joining some workshop. Do you remember that feeling when you spend time or even you stay together in the same place of these true parents? We feel so much comfortable, so much some protected, and so much kind of a beautiful and confidence and really the lovely atmosphere. Do you remember that moment together with true father and true mothers? So really true parents show those God's love directly to each of us. So in the society still, it's not easy to find the original place, original world. So through and centering on our true parents, how we can experience and how we can create those nation and those world of love, world of life, and world of ideal of God, and build to society, nation, and world. So there is those mission and role for each of us. That's why we had an experience and meet together with true parents and felt that moment. This is really the precious things. God is the subject partner of all living things, of all things in which there is action. He is their subject partner, not only today, but all throughout time. Thus, every living thing, whatever it may be, has an original nature that desires to be with God eternally, to live with Him and even share death with Him. God has to maintain His position as a subject partner, but He is beyond doing it as a duty. He is working passionately to govern all things through relationships of love based on heart. So how to create the relationship, artistic relationship with God, and how we can feel God Himself when we felt the love of God and the world of love, we feel we want to stay and live that kind of world of love forever. So in the beginning, it's not easy to feel God and realize God, but through some opportunity or through some moment, we will feel the God's heart deeply. So it's not only one time, second time, and third time. And if we can meet often, really we can live together with God. So if we could recognize the heart of God, and if we could recognize the God who is subject of love, that moment is the most happiest moment. Then we will overcome all suffering, challenging, and external difficulties because of happiness, because of those feeling with God. So we are living eternally together with God. This is really our hope. Until now, we have called upon God based on only on a concept. We have referred to God as our subject partner only in a religious sense. Yet God is the subject partner of our very existence. Furthermore, He is the subject partner of our daily life and subject partner of our philosophy of life. However, no matter how deep and wide our philosophy and view of Him as our subject partner may be, if we cannot explain and experience God in daily life, emotionally and practically, what's good is it? So invisible God telling or sharing and also let people experience invisible God and telling God's heart. Do you think it's easy matter? That's why Father is sharing many times from several or different point of view or different perspective who God is, how we can experience God. So when we listen, when we see the God's word, Father's word and Mother's word, really three parents is three parents explaining God from this side, from this side, from this side continuously. So Father said, God is the subject of life or subject of living. That's why we have to experience God in our daily life. So few times I ask you, do you have experienced God? So I want to ask another question. Is there someone who doesn't have experience with God? No experience with God? Is there someone totally zero experience with God? Maybe if try to find the experience with God, sometimes difficult, but is there someone who never experienced with God? If you demand your life, even small, even big, even special meeting, or looks like not special meeting, but surely you can find some moment, right? To feel or some realize or meeting with God. That's why even small meeting or small realization or experience, that itself is already great experience. If there are people whose philosophy of life enables them to experience the value of God as their subject partner in daily life and to be so united with God that they would not exchange Him for the world, they must be the people for whom God is seeking. So if once people can experience God and know God, that person never release God and never try, the person doesn't try to separate with God and doesn't try to exchange God with others. So if we can experience the love and the word of God, we really doesn't want to leave that moment. Really happy and comfortable and really confidence but peaceful moment we could experience together. God is the foundation of happiness among all seeds. He is the sense of life. It is because life comes from God that life is great. God is the seed of a life that manifests that ideal. What is it that enables us to connect from the base of God's happiness to God's ideal? It is true love. God is the origin of life and the origin of love. He is also the origin of men and women. He is the origin of the mother and father of brothers and sisters. So God is starting point of everything. So Father said, God is the origin of life and the origin of love. He is also the origin of man and woman. He is the origin of the mother and father of brothers and sisters. So how we can experience God deeply. So this is really our subject. So this is the last slide today. God values life because He is its root. God values the word. Also, God values action and love. When a person recognizes Him as the root of his or her existence and speaks His word, God loves seeing that word bear fruit as He has spoken it. Once that word is spoken, it bears fruit. Then God does not leave the fruit of that word alone, but continues to love it. In this way, God speaks the word. A person puts it into action, and through action, that person emerges as the embodiment of the word. Then it is for God to develop that person into the embodiment of love. So God's created all things, and God put the value. God value all things, and God respect all things, and protect that things. So when listen to our Father's word, really we can feel God's nature. God is really detailed, polite. Really God is sensitive. And whatever God gave the message, God will practice in action, and God love that. Until last moment, God continuously invest and also put His heart. So through Father's message, we can feel God's internal attitude. That's why we open our heart just purely, just sincerely, and to accept God's investment and to communicate with God. And when we create the relationship with God through this way, we can experience God's world and we can unite together with God, because God never give up. Once God promised, once God created, God continuously love and take responsibility, protect and guide together until last moment. That's why when we imagine the meeting moment with God, is that exciting, right? So today we can think again also what kind of beautiful moment is waiting for us. What kind of things God is creating in order to make us to be exciting. We can imagine that, we can prepare that, and we can spend whole time together with our heavenly parents and true parents. So today also thank you for joining this morning Hundokkei. Let's offer the happiness and share our blessing to our brothers and sisters. Thank you very much once again. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. Thank you, Reverend Yutaka, for sharing with us this morning, and as well, helping us to relate to God more sincerely. I was reflecting on a few things as you were talking. The statement that God is not a religious concept, that God is not a religion. Often I used to think, how can we remove God from religion? Because religion is getting in the way. Because religion is our concept, our way of putting a system in place to return to God, but it's not the concept that God originally intended. As Mother and both fathers said, subject position. God is the subject, and to really grasp that deeply, it's how to take it away from a concept, and because God is in all things. Yes, and have we experienced God or not experienced God? I mean, we experience each other, and if we can't see God in each other, then we're not really understanding this subject relationship. And when that image came up of the Star of David, and it was next to the crescent moon and the crucifix, I was looking at those symbols and thinking about the four-position foundation. That just was coming to my mind, and I looked at the cross and I could see, yes, you've got vertical and horizontal, and that's like a four-position foundation, but definitely not the way God intended the four-position foundation to be realized in us. And then I looked at the Star of David and was thinking, oh, that's a six-pointed. And I said, oh, that's actually a two-dimensional drawing of a three-dimensional four-position foundation, because you have top, bottom, left, right, and front, back. And so that the Star of David is just a 2D drawing of a sphere. And then I realized, God is always trying to help us understand the reality of God, and not just a concept. It's so easy to think and not feel, or go the other way, feel and not really think about it. But so I was just reflecting on that relationship, because because the four-position foundation and the Star of David and the cross, the crucifix, and they all represent a relationship. And even the crescent moon, I always feel like when I look at that, it's like, well, they've sort of got half the moon there. Then they need to have the full moon and understand about our Father. So I was just reflecting on that process, how to remove God from religion and to make God an everyday life experience, because he's literally the subject of everything we do. And I think that because obviously God was there before any religion even started, and it's reminding people that God really is love, and it's only through love that we grow. So those were some of my thoughts and reflections today, and thank you, Reverend Yutaka, for sharing with us, and thank you, everyone, and open it up to whoever would like to share a reflection or thought. Yes, Chris, and then Mr. Arai after. Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I don't know if you'll be able to get this, because right this morning I finally believe I had an understanding of what God's word means. And actually, I could never get it, because, did he speak word once and mountains came? I couldn't get what this God was the word and the word was this God. I couldn't get it. And this morning I finally got it after all these years. The word is God's constant projection of his consciousness. And that if he stops doing that, everything collapses. I thought the purpose was projected and then that was it, but it's being constantly projected. Just as you can imagine, when you imagine, vibrations go out to everything you're imagining about. But we're not the creator, so that doesn't affect anything much. But God is the creator. So he is constantly in this projection frame of mind. And that is constantly supplying all our cells and everything with the purpose that they need. It's constantly going on. He doesn't have to microscopically think about it. It's just happens in your mind, just as your mind can think about a massive picture without, each individual part. It just comes as one thing. So anyway, big revelation for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Roy.
Yeah, good morning, and today congratulations to Reverend Yamada's PR visa. And what I wonder what was the reaction, what was the emotion of Reverend Yutaka about your PR visa? To asking Reverend Yutaka.
Feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah, because always I'm really visiting, doing the mission in another country. Always challenging point is the visa. If visa is really not stable, not easy to focus everything. That's why I'm really grateful, at least can focus or can settle about visa matter. Otherwise, always, I'm not sure, can extend the visa next time again, or cannot extend visa again. This worriness always together with as the missionary. Maybe you have experience. That's why at least really we got the permanent residence visa, easy to focus our area, our nation, and also region. So I'm really appreciate, then really grateful to have these things. So really appreciate everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I'd like to share my experience about the PR visa. And to get the PR visa was one of most, what can I say, it's happiest time. And when I had this news from my solicitor, really, naturally, it's, both a hand is up and like a month, incredible. Because I came as a representative visa, then I started the business, got on Chris Hill. Then after 4 or 5 years, then I applied a permanent visa. And but the Victorian immigration, after a while, sent me a red light letter. We can't give you a visa because you started without visa, started your own business that you do illegally. So I cannot give you visa. You have to go out within 2 weeks. Then I started to go back to Japan, but also I contacted the 2 solicitors. Then that 2 solicitors said, "Oh, it is impossible because you are immigration said you are illegal. That's why it is impossible to win a battle. You cannot get. You better go back." Then that time I talked with Greg Stone, and Greg Stone introduced me one of the solicitors. His name is Mr. Ford, I think Ford. Then I went there. It's the last person, the solicitor. He said, "Anyway, okay, Victoria immigration canceled. Okay, we're going to appeal to Canberra." Then we started to fight with Canberra. It's a long way, but that time I started to build a factory in Tasmania. It's MP in Tasmania. And officially, many things happened. Then I finally got a visa, and then it took an incredible battle. Then finally I got the visa. So that's why when I received the letter from it's a solicitor, I was really, it's a happy time. Anyway, everyone has a different kind of story, but truly congratulations, Levant Yutaka family to Australia settle. Thank you so much. I think maybe Greg helped this time or not, I don't know, but anyway, everyone's prayer support, it's a great news. And that is one of the experience with God. Thank you, help God. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rai. Thank you. Yes. Yes, Jeff, go ahead.
Yes, I think many who've lived in foreign countries have had that. I think I was in Zambia for about 8 years with no legal visa, so it was always a bit stressful. And there you have to go under the table and give money to all sorts of people to, and they're happy that you're in that situation. So anyway. Anyway, I just want to talk about yesterday's PCLC Advisory Council meeting. I was so inspired, especially with the statement that was made, and it was addressing some of the issues that some of the ministers had brought up. You know, they wanted to know in a previous meeting, so what's the PCLC stand on gay marriage and abortion and all these things. So it was amazing that those brothers and sisters, Dr. Kettle, Greg Stone, I don't know who, but just got together and figured out. So what we're seeing here is that the leadership is kind of like guiding these ministers and how to view it. And the amazing presentation from Dr. Kittle, not just a statement, but actually why that statement was there. Just going right back to the beginning to get a proper understanding about God's original ideal. So wow, it was really, sometimes when I hear Dr. Kittle, I give him like about an 80% mark or 90%. But when I heard him yesterday, I was fully 100%. Wow, I couldn't have done better myself, So I think we're all growing in our ability to be able to be clear and be a good channel for God to work through. So the last sort of thing that Reverend Yamada, the last statement there was, in his PowerPoint this morning was to do with, it's like, this is not word for it, but something to do with that God is trying to raise us up, or God is trying to perfect us. And so God is there, our Father is there trying to sort of raise us up and to be perfected and to come to know Him. And so, wow, this is just part of the process. Even our meetings every morning is part of the process to perfect us and work together and just know what we have to do in the Pacific. So it's just ongoing. The more you can share with God and put yourself out for Him, what do you want me to do today? Then He will work with you and with us and raise us up. So, I just want to thank all of you who are so committed every morning to come together and be in this great school to learn how to build God's kingdom. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Yeah, so true. We have time for a couple of others to share if they like. Yes, Catherine, go ahead.
Yeah. Because of the time difference, the time in New Zealand now is 9:15. So I'm usually up at 6 o'clock, and I usually do my own prayer, and then I join with another friend and we do a Bible reading together. And then we finish that, and then we come on to Hundoke here. And every morning I'm so amazed at how united true Father and true Mother are, and Heavenly Father is. Because I'm reading Father's speeches every morning at the moment, going through Father's books on his speeches. And then the words of Father, the words of Mother that we read today at Hundoke are just exactly the same, so united. And God is really working. I just see the unity of Father and Mother and God working together to reach each of our hearts. And God never leaves us. He's just working, trying to touch each one's heart in a special way. And I'm just amazed every single morning that there's so much unity there, that everything we read and what we go through in this Hundoke just ties in with everything. That's just what I want to say. God is really much alive. Thank you.
So true. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. Yes, Mary, go ahead. And then Jacinta after. Yeah.
That's amazing, that Catherine, what you just shared, because I remember we used to be in Florida and we'd have our church service on a Sunday, and we'd go and visit other churches, and always the sermon in the other churches was the same topic as what we had in our church. So yeah, it's like just indicates that God's Spirit is like, yeah, just encompassing everyone and going everywhere, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Mary. It's so true. Go ahead, Jacinta.
Yeah, just yesterday I was talking to another lady who read out the words of Father's poem, The Garden of Restoration, that he wrote a long, long time ago, and we sing it as a holy song. But when you read out the words, it just totally inspires me to feel God's original heart in a way that nothing else seems to be so powerful as, because, you know, it starts off in this world embittered with hate. Through the thousands of years, Father has been searching for one triumphant in heart. And, you know, there's about 5 different verses of that holy song, but, you know, it just totally gives me the chills, because it so expresses, in a way, you know, it kind of gets you back on the path, you know, if you're feeling a little bit jaded or whatever. And I just wanted to share that, you know, reading that holy song words, you know, really kind of helps me anyway. I know poetry really helps me to get back into my true heart. So I just want to say that's a really good thing.
Thank you, Jacinta. It really is a really good thing. Yeah. Oh, still have time for one more. Yes, Kenji, Reverend Kenji, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, everyone, and congratulations on the residential visa for the Reverend Yutaka. And yeah, as the missionaries coming from overseas to settle in a mission country is the not simple matter, and as also the experience, and in related with the this topic, and I'm just thinking that God's visa to settle on earth And yeah, that's why we are desperately trying to establish the God's nation, where God can finally abide, and world sanctuary gonna be established in 2023 is the truly aspiration for Heavenly Parent and the true parents and all of us. And once we invite Heavenly Parent in our in each individual, in our core of heart and in the family, and so in the society, then we don't need to have a religion. And as the Reverend John shared that kind of how we can remove the God from the religion. It's as God is not the concept, God is a living God, as Cassie shared. So anyhow, we really like to move forward to realize the God's ideal, true parents' ideal as a reality, and we are all going to be a participant of that. So that's the the reflection on today. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Kenji. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your faithful heart to always attend in the morning, and also to share together as we offer our unison prayer. So it's that time for us to share. I'll just open the screen, share the screen. So let's pray together. Thank you. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
はい。3番。メインパーネ。
Bye bye.